That's much better. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Manifesting Monday. Wonder what we're going to talk about this week. Mm, mm. Great to see you all. Nice that you guys show up on time. I do appreciate that. And then we always have our latecomers. Quiet Monday today. How's everyone doing? Did you have a phenomenal weekend? Have a good weekend? Things go the way you wanted them to? Hey, Maggie, great to see you. Brett, Dawn, Eileen, Joseph, Lynn, Margaret, Steve, awesome to have you here. You had a great weekend, Eileen, awesome. You know that whatever you experience is your creation. So if it's not of your liking, there's only one person to look at, and that's you. What thoughts have I been thinking that caused this to happen? Where has my thinking gone off track? And when you figure that out, that's when you start manifesting real magic in your life. Do you guys truly understand that? I just want to see. I want to see where we are on that thinking scale. Do you recognize that if there's something going on in your world that you don't like, that annoys you, that upsets you, if you're not feeling well, whatever it is going on in your life, do you know 100% that you created that with your thoughts? You don't have to know what the thoughts were. You just have to know that you created those circumstances by focusing on something that felt like that. Oh, wow. Truck wreck. I hope no one was hurt, Lynn. And I know when there are accidents, there are amazing people that come forward to help. Ah, it's wonderful, isn't it? So do you guys truly understand? I really want to know, do you understand? No one has answered me. Did I make the question too hard? If what's going on in your life right now, if the circumstances you are living right now are not of your liking, the only person to look at is you. Do you recognize that? That it's the thoughts you've been thinking that created the situation you're in? Do you really and truly understand that? It doesn't mean you're to blame. This isn't about blame. It's about taking responsibility for your life and creating the life you want, manifesting what you really want in your life. And how do you do that? How do we manifest what we really, really want? Does anyone know the secret? I have a secret for all of you. You all know the secret. You're just not practicing it enough. Change my thinking. That's right. The minute you change your thinking and focus on those thoughts 100%, imagine those thoughts, see those thoughts in reality, feel those thoughts in your heart, it will manifest. Everyone has a spirit that can be refined, a body that can be trained in some manner, a suitable path to follow. You are here to realize your inner divinity and manifest your innate enlightenment. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to spend time looking at the fact that there's things you can't take care of or can't do right now? Or are you going to focus on the fact that your health is poor, or you don't have any money, or you keep getting interruptions in your life so you can never get work done, or people keep using your time, or people in your life, in your family are annoying, or anything like that? If anything like that's going on, you just have to stop and think, that's not something I want in my life. Number one, you have to recognize that's not what you want in your life, and then figure out what you do and focus on that. And only that. It doesn't mean stick your head in the sand. That's not what we're talking about. I'm not telling you to stick your head in the sand and forget about your responsibilities here in this human existence. But I'm simply telling you to stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about how bad it feels. Stop thinking about how stressed you are. Stop thinking about how tired you are. Stop thinking about how poorly you feel. And start thinking about how amazing you are. Start feeling differently. How do you start feeling differently? You start choosing different thoughts. You choose to feel differently. It's easy to go down the rabbit hole and stay on the woe is me scale. No problem. Go for it. It's what you're used to. Woe is me. Well, it's true. Look at all this stuff that's happening in my life. I don't have enough money to pay the bills. I don't have enough money for rent. Aunt Sue is driving me nuts every time I turn around. Something's wrong. My husband drives me crazy. I don't know what to do. Whine, whine, whine. Oh my God, I got up today. Now what? I know that I'm being silly and you guys are not of that mind. I know that you all really get these concepts, right? And I know that you all know it's just a matter of practicing. And what I know to be true for me is that sometimes it's difficult to recognize when you are being your own worst enemy. Sometimes it's difficult to recognize the words you're saying unless someone points it out to you. Would you guys agree? I don't have a problem recognizing my words that aren't serving me because I've been practicing that for a long time. I mean, I'm going to let you know I'm not perfect. But I do work really diligently at choosing my words to make sure that they serve me and those around me. So I'm not starting my conversations with a woe is me attitude, like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened. Instead, it's, I'm having a great day. I'm having a great day. I'm living the life of my dreams. I love it. I'm doing the things I love doing. And yeah, I still have all these things going on. And that's okay. They will be handled. The universe will provide for me. I believe that. And I will enjoy every minute of the day, regardless of what it is I'm doing. Regardless of what service I need to be to someone else because of my thinking that I had stinking in the past. Today, I'm going to face it with a smile on my face. We've been reading, discovering, studying Reflections on a Philosophy, and while the message here is the same as the message we've been getting in all of our books, the telling of the message is quite different, isn't it? And I know that we're all enjoying it, and I know I still haven't found the PDF. Steve, you're a great investigator. Maybe you can see if there's a PDF out there anywhere of this. I don't think there is. This is actually a collector's item. I keep wondering because I've written all over it. But that's okay. So this is like a new little Bible. I've looked and I can't find anything, but someone with more skill might have better luck. We're on page 35. We're halfway through the book. It's going to take us a while to get through this book. And so before we read from here today, I want to tell you guys, and I hope you're okay with this, and tell me if you're not, okay? I have put it up on the website. I have made a decision. I think we're a couple weeks away from getting into a new book. That gives you a lot of time to go out and buy this book. The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. And this is the one I want you to get. It's the 25th anniversary edition, and the reason I want you to get this one is because it has a study guide. And so each chapter that we read, pardon me, the end of that cold. Each chapter we read, there's a small section that's the study guide that has questions. So there's a summary, and then there's questions that to help you really think deeper and get a little deeper into understanding the philosophy behind what we're talking about. I'm going to read a bit. The introduction, I'm going to read, I think, from the foreword, from the first edition. So, I mean, the book is the same, it's just that this edition has the addition of the study guide at the end, all right? So right now, Robin, we are reading Dr. Forrest C. Shaklee's Reflections on a Philosophy. Pretty sure this is on the website as well at Morning Motivator. You can get used copies for $7. It's just a little book, 70 pages. And you can get original copies for $60. I've seen it for $100. It shows on the website as $46. I'm not kidding. I've looked everywhere. Those are the prices. This, on the other hand, I believe I saw it up there for like $11 at Indigo, Amazon, probably same thing. The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. It is on the website, okay? So How many of you are going to go out today with this book so that you have it to start with us when we start this book? I can tell you that it could change your whole thinking pattern. It really could. Well, every book we've read has changed our lives, hasn't it? So what do you think? Are you guys good with that? Yeah, you look too, Don? Yeah. Well, so I thought I might as well get Steve to look. If none of us find it, it isn't out there. Okay, so it is on the website if you're not sure what it is. It's called The Seat of the Soul. It is a New York Times bestseller. He was on Oprah Winfrey. Oprah does have a foreword. I'm not sure what I'll read first, but I want you guys to understand this book is pretty amazing. It's pretty deep. We're going to dig deep, and get right to the meat of the matter so that we can really begin manifesting in our lives. Sound like a good plan? Joseph's going to get the book. Good man, Joseph. Anybody else? Who else is going to commit to go pick up a copy of The Seat of the Soul? You can get it at any bookstore, or you've got lots of time to order it online. It'll be a couple weeks before we start this course. All right, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this as being a course that we're all going to get into. And we're going to get into it a little differently. We're going to actually study this, and we're going to go into it together like a book club. Okay? So get yourself a copy of The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. I'll type it in here. The Seat of the Soul. Anybody else going to get it? Anyone? Just two of you? Well, I'll convince the rest of you. Okay, it's a book. You're going to spend $10 or $12. Change your life. Okay? This is really amazing stuff. If you want to create change in your life, let's get into this. Good job, Maggie. All right, so we're on page 35. We've been talking about the birthplace of success, and we've been on this chapter for a long time. It takes us quite a while to get through this, doesn't it? Because it really, it seems to stimulate some conversation. That's what I've noticed about this Reflections on a Philosophy, is that it's really stimulating conversation. So I have a big mark here that talking about our creative powers on Friday. The world doesn't owe you a living. You've got to earn that. You are endowed with a portion of the creative energy, but you must intelligently direct it. If the other fellow has outstripped you in the race for fame and fortune, it's because he has more intelligently directed his inner powers. He has no greater powers than you have. Whether he is young or old matters little. Your creative powers do not diminish with the years. You may start at any age creating the type of life you want to live. It is all in the way you think about it. Your happiness and prosperity awaits you through direction. That's how we finished up on Friday. Pretty powerful stuff. Are you allowing age to slow you down? Age may affect the physical body, but it need not affect the power of thought. Usually it is the neglect of power production that causes the physical body to weaken. Too many expect their age to affect their bodies. Ambition fades because they think they are too old to undertake any new endeavor. They've lost their desire to accomplish. It is surprising how much physical strength can be produced if you expect your body to do so. Yes, you say, I see a lot of opportunities, but I'm too old to take advantage of them now. That was not true of the great men of history. Age is not so much a question of years as it is a question of what we think about age. History proves that the greatest accomplishments throughout the world have been from men past the half-century mark. That fact should be a source of encouragement to those of mature years, but it need not be a deterrent to those of younger years. Of course, you expect to accomplish a great deal when you are older, but you need not wait for the years to roll by. Establish a goal, and then think out a plan along which to proceed. Come to a decision today and start doing things. You can never allow fear of a poor start to hold you back. Any kind of a start is better than standing still. Whatever your mistakes may be, they prove a willingness to try. While you are standing still the world rushes on, and others are accomplishing the things you might have accomplished or might still accomplish. An automobile doesn't get a person anywhere until he starts the motor, turns on the power, depresses the accelerator. One power plant must express action before the other power plant will express action, and therefore before any progress can be made. In other words, one man must express action before the auto, will express action. As with everything else we do, thinking, too, falls into habit patterns. Not only do we get into the habit of thinking along certain lines, but we develop the habit of thinking certain types of thoughts. The habit of producing creative thought is just as easily formed as the habit of producing wishful thought. Active thinking requires no more energy for expression than does passive thinking. How will you know that you are producing active thoughts? Ooh. Now there's a question. How do you know that you're producing active thoughts? Well, by taking the time to think things out, to bring your thoughts to some final conclusion. People judge you by what you have done, not by what you expect to do. There's an old phrase that can be paraphrased. The road to failure is paved with good intentions. Of course, you must have good intentions. You must expect the better things in life. But you must build your thought patterns as a guide to the development of such things. The steps to your goal must be clearly outlined. So you need to have good intentions. It's okay to expect a better life, right? In fact, we should all expect a better life. Whatever life you're living, you can expect it to be better and better and continue to get better and better and better. However, what must happen and what we are all working on, and I believe that this book, The Seat of the Soul, is going to help us get there. You have to build your thought patterns as a guide to develop such things. The steps to your goal must be clearly outlined. So number one, you have to think it through. You have to have a good intention. You have to have a dream. You have to think about something. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be something big. If you want to play the game, if you want to test out whether all this mumbo-jumbo thought stuff really works, pick a really small goal that you can do and do it. So here's what you do. You think of something. So what's something that some of you may want to create in your life? You all want more money, I'm sure. So let's say you want more money. So you need $1,000. You have no idea where you're going to get $1,000 from, but $1,000 would be nice. So what would $1,000 do for you? So let's say you need $1,000 to pay off something that's hounding you. Doesn't matter. Or maybe it's just going to pay all your bills. Just an extra $1,000 will get you clear and running, and it'll make you feel better. You won't have that restriction on your head. It'll be some extra money in the bank. Wouldn't that be nice? It feels good, doesn't it? So number one, you have an idea. Then you have to think about how it's going to feel to have that. How does it feel to have that? Somebody said, when we asked about your goal, your life goal was to be a millionaire. And I said, well, how does it feel to be a millionaire? What does that mean? What does your life look like with that extra $1,000 sitting in the bank? How do you feel? And then all you think about are things that can help you get that. You think about how good you feel. How good you feel, how good you feel. You meditate, you feel about how good you feel. You go about the day feeling good, and ideas will come to you. Now here's where the challenge happens, is that some of you don't act on those ideas. You don't take the actions that will help you get to that goal. You can't just think I want $1,000 and $1,000 will appear. You have to think about how that $1,000 could appear. You don't have to make it appear. You just have to allow the universe to bring you solutions. Ask and it is given. Number one, you have to have an idea. You have to feel it in your heart. You have to believe with all your heart that you can get that you can create that you deserve that it's yours. It's already yours. You have to believe it. And then you have to be open to the ideas that will come to you. You have to take the actions to manifest those goals. But they will only manifest if you become enlightened, if you enjoy the journey. Now, true, there are times that you can manifest material goals in your life by taking certain actions and not have your heart into it, because you're doing things that produce things and you just do them and your heart's not really into it and you're really not having fun. And I can tell you that all the money in the world isn't going to change that. You got to find the fun first. Is this making sense to you guys? You dare not slack off. Why would you think of an oarsman who started to row his boat upstream? What would you think of an oarsman who started to row his boat upstream and then suddenly stopped rowing and began paddling around in circles? The current would soon carry him back to his starting point, perhaps even beyond it. He might make another start, of course, but to what avail? As long as he continued the bad habit of easing off, he would soon get nowhere. Plan for the future, but do not waste the present. Lynn says, money is just a tool or a vibration. Well, everything is a vibration, Lynn. I'm glad you brought that point up. Money can only bring unhappiness as well, unless you use it to bring happiness to others with it. Well, if that's what you believe, then that's what's true for you. Money is just a vibration. Money does not bring anybody happiness, and you cannot bring happiness to someone else with money. Okay? Money is just a vibration. Money buys things. Things cause a more comfortable life, but things do not create happiness. And until we really and truly understand that, until we can really get into our soul, until we can be happy right now in this moment, if we can be here and recognize, oh my God, look where, I'm here. I created everything that's around me. I created this. I envisioned this. I manifested it. I thought thoughts that brought this all into my life, and it's pretty darn cool. It's pretty darn cool. And if I want more, I just have to, number one, think about what that more is that I want. Get that clear picture in my mind. Picture it as often as I can. Just close my eyes and picture it and just feel the feeling of whatever it is that I want to accomplish, and then go about my day following the actions that will take me to that goal. Now, it doesn't mean in this example he's talking about an oarsman letting go of his oars. And yet, when we listen to Esther, she does a good example about, letting go of the oars. So there's two different examples here. We're talking about working really hard and then stopping, and then working and really hard and stopping. And so let me give you an analogy here for people who are working online. You go at it for a little while and you kind of give it some effort and you see a little bit of results, but you're not seeing all the results that you really want to see, so you stop and you go somewhere else and you do something else and you see a little bit of results. Again, not the results you want to see, but you are seeing some results. But you're not doing more activity to bring more results. You're getting discouraged. You're like, well, I'm doing everything, but it's really not happening as fast as I want it to. And it's like that with anything in life. We can't stop moving forward. And you know what happens, especially here on the internet, because most of you I know are involved in business of some sort. You just don't treat this the same as you do a business in the real world, and until you do, nothing's going to change for you in business. You've got to treat your home business like a business. You've got to take it real. You've got to take it seriously. Quit treating it like a hobby, unless that hobby is bringing you so much happiness then enjoy it as a hobby. Let me tell you a little secret. The more you enjoy your hobby, the more money you'll make. Because you'll get more ideas that will take you forward. Because if you enjoy your hobby, you'll enjoy doing the activities to advance your hobby. Take out of this moment every bit of joy that it affords. Refuse to allow a thought that will cause a moment of unpleasantness. Never allow a mañana habit to ruin your life. You can be sure of only this moment, so make the most of it. Today is actually, but tomorrow can be only theoretical. If you have developed a habit of refusing to live this day, there may be hundreds, yes, even thousands of todays wasted. Build the habit of careful thought. Prove to your friends and neighbors that your statements are backed by sound judgment. Acquire the habit of weighing your words and actions carefully. If you do this, you will soon lose the habit of criticism and idle gossip. I think we'll finish there today for our reading. Dr. Shaklee was a formidable man. He was a very wise man. He started an amazing company built on the philosophy of everything he's talking here. His entire company to this day is built on thoughtmanship. It's built on this philosophy. It really and truly is. This is quite a book. The lessons in here, the messages in here are very profound. And I just don't even, there's nowhere I can go and even get a whole bunch of these to give away. The copies just are not out there. I'm going to have to check with Shaklee and see if they might have it. I don't know. I think they should publish it for their members. Pretty phenomenal book. Do you guys have any requests today for meditating? Oh, by the way, before I forget, as I am prone to do on occasion, that's just because I get very busy and some things, unless I write them down, and even when I write them down, I sometimes forget. Tomorrow is Tuesday, as you all know, and tomorrow I have all my annual blood work and tests and all that fun stuff. So Steve is going to be here to entertain you, to read to you, to motivate you, to inspire you, to get you thinking differently. And I really appreciate that he's doing that. Thank you so much, Steve. So Morning Motivator will go on as usual tomorrow. You guys all know how to get here. I'm sure Steve will do his best to put the reminders in the chat. I won't have time to get anything out tomorrow other than an email, so make sure that you just show up. Steve will send the messages out and remind you guys, but make sure you show up. It'll be a great call. I'm just sorry I have to miss it, because I know that Steve always does a great call. So do you guys have any requests today for meditation? What do we have? We have physical, we have general, we have relationships, and money. We have 2 Lori Grangers, but I think today I'd like to do an Abraham meditation. There's just something about the breathing on the Abraham meditations that changes everything. It changes everything. It allows you to get off track less. It causes you to focus more. Any requests? If there's no requests, we're going to do money meditation. Any requests? Going once? Going twice? 3 times? Last time? Money's fine. I know money's always fine, isn't it? Let me grab the link here for those of you that get booted out of the room. And we'll be back in 15 minutes. Remember, just sit back, listen to Esther. The breathing is 3 beats to inhale, 5 beats to exhale. Focus on that. Just focus on your breathing and magic will happen. See you back here in 15 minutes.
We are going to stand for a while in your physical shoes and speak words that are of greatest advantage to you. Breathe in, breathe out. We want to help you find the vibrational stance to allow financial abundance to flow into your personal experience. Breathe in. Breathe out. The stream of abundance flows generously, and it is right and it is time for you to receive your share. This will not be difficult for you to do, and it will not take much time, because you are already well along the way. Breathe in. Breathe out. There is power in the words that you are hearing, and in time your resistance will subside and your allowing will begin. As your resistance is replaced with allowing, as doubt is replaced with belief, your abundance will become evident. Breathe in. Breathe out. Our words will help you to shift your feeling about money from worry or concern to eagerness and fun. Breathe in. Breathe out. When that emotional shift occurs, immediate financial manifestations will be the evidence of that shift. Breathe in. Breathe out. If we can convince you that the path to financial abundance is simply an emotional path, with each hearing of these words, you will breathe out more resistance, and your feelings will improve. Breathe in. Breathe out. Your work is not one of action. There are no courses to complete. There are no requirements for you to meet. Just a comfortable and gradual rediscovery of your natural state of relief and of ease and of well-being. Breathe in. Breathe out. You are never deprived when someone else gains, because abundance expands proportionately to match desires. Breathe in. Breathe out. When the success of another makes your heart sing, you resist you. The majority of that work is already done. And now, with far less effort than you have been believing, your financial condition is about to improve. Breathe in. Breathe out. Financial abundance does not occur in one's life because of hard work, or good luck, or favoritism. Financial abundance is simply the universe's response to consistent thoughts and feelings of abundance. Breathe in. Breathe out. When you are able to accomplish the feeling of abundance before the evidence has shown itself to you, the evidence must come and will continue to come as long as you maintain the feeling of abundance. Breathe in. Breathe out. Anytime you are feeling good, no matter the reason, you are accomplishing the feeling of abundance. Breathe in. Breathe out. In your absence of resistance, everything that you have asked for is making its way right to you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Each time you focus upon these words, your resistance becomes smaller and your allowance becomes greater. With each passing day, your vibrational point of attraction will change until there will be an
So what are you going to do today to stay this way? You all benefit from that meditation. Your vibration's a little higher right now. You're feeling a little more connected right now. What do you intend to do to stay there? Are you going to allow your habits to take you down the same path? Are you going to be the ho-hum, diddly-dum? Things aren't going exactly the way I want them. Are you going to start focusing on what's going wrong and everything, all the interruptions, or are you going to stay right here all day, and no matter what occurs in your life, you're going to look at the bright side of it, I guess. Look at the other side of it. Look at the side of it that is the positive side, and breathe, yeah, smile, repeat. Exactly. No matter what, whatever happens. And you know, I think the key of it is to recognize if you're going down that habit path. If your words are not serving you, if your attitude is not serving you, you have to recognize that first. How do you tell? Because like right now you feel really good. And if your attitude starts going down the tube, you're not going to feel really good. So before you do anything today, before you take any action, before you speak to anyone, take a moment to check in. It only takes a second. I'm going to challenge you all to do this today. Take a moment to check in with yourself and see where you are. How are you feeling? Take a breath and then approach whatever that situation is. From an attitude of gratitude, from an attitude of amazingness. Today's affirmation: I am willing to release old negative beliefs. They are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. Yeah. Does that feel good? Let's say that one again together. I am willing to release old negative beliefs. They are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. In my Day by Day with James Allen, the quote that I have for today: every circumstance has two sides. How appropriate. Your difficulty is not contained primarily in the situation which gave rise to it, but in the mental state with which you regard that situation and with which you bring to bear upon it. Let's think about that again. Does anybody have a difficulty in their life right now, a challenge, something that you need to overcome? Anybody? Any kind of challenge? I want you to really open your mind to this. Your difficulty is not contained primarily in the situation which gave rise to it, but in the mental state with which you regard that situation and with which you bring to bear upon it. It's not the situation, it's what you think about the situation. It is one of the most difficult lessons to accept, understand, and learn. Circumstances are neither negative or positive. Circumstances are neutral. It is our thinking, our mental state, our perspective that makes a circumstance positive or negative. Bob Proctor does some of the best teaching on this subject using a universal law he refers to as the law of polarity. Everything in the universe has its opposite. There would be no inside to a room without an outside. You have a right and a left side of your body, a front and a back. Every up has a down, every down has an up. The law of polarity not only states that everything has an opposite, it is equal and opposite. If it was 3 feet from the floor up to the table, it would be 3 feet from the table down to the floor. If it is 150 miles from Manchester to London, by law, it must be 150 miles from London to Manchester. It could not be any other way. If something you considered bad happens in your life, there has to be something good about it. If it was only a little bad, when you mentally work your way around to the other side, you will find it will only be a little good. During a recent teleseminar I conducted with Randy Gage, he used a very good example of this. While the flat tire you have seems to be a negative circumstance to you, it is a very positive circumstance for your local tire dealer. Looking even further, it's possible that while changing the tire, the dealer discovers a much more serious problem that would have cost you a large sum of money if discovered later. So it's even more clear from Bob's teaching that every circumstance can be viewed 2 ways. It's the way we view a circumstance that determines its impact on our thinking and our mental state. And we know from James Allen's teaching that that determines the quality of life that we live. The way we view a circumstance determines its impact on our thinking and our mental state. No matter how bad the circumstance appears to be, taking another look from another perspective reveals to us the good. Or as Napoleon Hill, author of the classic Think and Grow Rich, wrote, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or a greater benefit." And that's worth thinking about. Lynn says, because I'm left-handed, I'm always in my right state of mind. Well, your right state of mind is a choice. As cute as that is, it really is. Then that's what this is all about. It's a choice to have the right attitude. It's a choice to look at a circumstance and be pissed off about it, or find a way around it. Find a solution. Find the good. What can come from it will be even better. It's, you know, you get over the disappointment and you pick up and go, yeah, okay, sure. That's kind of cool. What did we learn from this? Where can we go now? How can I continue to get to my goal? How can I continue to get where I want to get? If you want to get somewhere and you want it bad enough, nothing is going to stop you. So then I ask, what is it that you want, and do you want it bad enough? Are you willing to make the sacrifices that are none? There are no sacrifices when you are following your heart, when you are living in the now, when you are listening to what's happening inside of you, listening to your soul, following your true passion, and not looking at circumstance with the wrong state of mind. How many of you will admit that you often look at circumstances from the wrong state of mind initially? You're learning to change it around. You're learning to recognize it. I get that. Okay? But most of you here are not living the life of your dreams. And so it can only be because of the way that you are looking at circumstances. That's really what this is all saying, isn't it? That it's how we look at the circumstances we're experiencing that determine the experience we're going to have. So how many of you here will admit that, yeah, maybe you're not looking at circumstances from the right frame of mind? And it's your choice to do so. You created the circumstances. We could go on and on. Every circumstance has two sides. Every circumstance has two sides. But what you experience and how you feel is 100% determined on how you look at the circumstance. You get to determine that. The circumstance is neutral. You get to decide how you view the circumstances, and are you going to view it from a habit of discontent, a habit of being off your high-flying disc, or are you going to view it from a new objective, a new point of view? I am willing to release old negative beliefs. They are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. Are we really starting to grasp the concept that, number one, we have to recognize that either the thoughts we're thinking or the words we're using are not serving us? We have to recognize when we got stinking thinking or when our attitude sucks. Even if it only sucks a little bit, we have to be able to recognize that. Be open to people telling you. Be open to saying, oh, yeah, maybe I could have a better attitude. Or be open to looking at yourself honestly. Go look in the mirror. Can you change your attitude a little bit? What do you think? Could you change? Lynn, you seem to have a pretty good attitude. Some habits in there that are just that. They're just habits. They're habits of this, the way we are in the world. That's the way we talk. It's not exactly what we mean. However, when you take the words apart, you kind of go, oh, yeah, I can see how that might really not serve me right. And I'm going to work to find things that serve me. So when circumstances come up, I'm going to do my best to look at the circumstance from the right side. Not the wrong side. I don't know if there's a right or wrong, but just from a positive side. Where's the good? Where's the benefit? I got a flat tire. How can I get it fixed quickly? Where can I go? I'm going down another path. When circumstance happens, it's there happening to take you down another path, perhaps to achieve your goal. You never know. You never know when things happen where that's going to direct you. It's just taking you down another path. You get to choose and direct that path. Is this all making sense to you guys, or is it kind of like out there? Are you into this stuff? Are you into creating some real magic in your life? Are you into it so much that you're going to spend every waking moment practicing these ideas? Because that's how life changes. If you want to change anything in your world, if you want to change your circumstances, if you want to change your financial circumstances, if you want to change your living circumstances, if you want to change your health circumstances, you got to change your attitude right now. Right now. You have to change your attitude. You have to make sure that you're always in the right attitude, and check in with yourself. If you have a partner who's willing to play the game with you, check in with each other and say, hey, attitude check, right? And just say, right, yep. Oh, wow, yeah, I can see that, because you'll start to recognize your attitude. And when you can recognize your own attitude, that's when things can really change for you. Is it going to happen overnight? That depends. We all have, we are all living in different circumstances, and we all have different abilities. I'm going to call them abilities, for lack of a better word, because we all have access to the exact same power. Do you guys believe that? We all have access to the same power inside in our soul, at the seat of our soul. We all have access to that same power. No one has less access. And you get access to that power by thinking the right thoughts, by getting yourself into that state of well-being, that vibration of energy that connects you to source, so that you can access all of that. We all have that power. That's why there's so many books written about it. We read Louise Hay's book about power. Eckhart Tolle has a book, The Power of Now. I have it. I have 2 copies of it, actually. I was thinking we'd read it, but I thought we would read this first, because it seemed to be in maybe a language that we can really comprehend a little more. Eckhart Tolle's he gets a little deep. Some of his stuff is pretty deep, but we might venture there. I'm enjoying the idea of a book club. What do you think? We're past the hour again. Look at me. Okay, so I want to remind you guys, this is on the website. Grab your copy, The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. Get a copy. Be a couple weeks before we start that. But I really want to approach this from a book club atmosphere, so that we can, be reading ahead every day, so that we will read it in the class, but we want to make sure you've read a few pages ahead, so we can really discuss what we're reading in the book. The chapters are fairly short, which is nice. We should be able to get through a chapter in, I don't know, we might take a week to go through each chapter. I haven't decided. I really want to study it, though. I want us to understand this, because it's in understanding it in yourself where you can make real change. And that's what you all want. I know it is. That's why you're here. And I love you for that. So thank you for staying a little bit extra. Steve, thank you for doing the call tomorrow. Much appreciated. Much, much appreciated, because I hate missing the day. I was going to have just cancel tomorrow, and I thought, no, I know that Steve would love to come up here and do this. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys are in for a treat. And I'll be back here bright and early Wednesday morning. Have a phenomenal day. Stay in the moment. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for raising the energy in our environment. I love you guys. See you on Wednesday.